Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to those of you that are new. My name is Imen. So for today's video is my go-to look for this time of year. So my skin has been super dry lately because one, it's it's practically winter where I live. It's almost Christmas. And two, these freaking masks I really feel like are making my skin so dry. Like specifically like right here, my skin is getting so flaky, super dry, and just kind of like irritated. So this routine that I've been doing has really been helping. It's if you have any like flakes or if your skin is cracking or anything like that, and even for those of you that don't have dry skin, if you want that little extra glow, or if you just have certain dry patches on your face that really like irk you, this is perfect for you. I give you all of my little tips and tricks on what I do when my skin is going through it, and my skin is pretty dry right now. I don't know if you guys know, but I've always had oily skin. I've never really had dry skin, so I really had to change up the way I do my makeup as of these past couple of months, and this like routine honestly is amazing for me and amazing for anyone who has dry skin for that matter. So if you're one of those people, make sure you watch this video in its entirety because I do give you guys a lot of tricks and tips on what I do when my skin is dry and how I like to do my makeup. So if you guys would like to see how I achieved my makeup, then please keep watching. So now that our hair is all out of our face, I'm gonna go ahead and start by priming my face. So to prime the skin, I'm gonna be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil, which if it would focus, this is it. My skin is super oily, or not oily, what am I talking about? My skin is super dry right now, which is kind of crazy because my skin is never this dry. I usually have like oily skin, but considering it's like winter and it's super cold over here where I live, I mean it's not super cold, but I mean it's cold, and these masks have not been helping either. Like I just feel like just like right here it just gets so dry like instantly after wearing my mask and taking it off. I just feel like, you know, like my face just feels super dry. But anyways, my face is also really dry because I've been like breaking out a lot recently, so I've been putting on a lot of spot treatment, and it's definitely like giving me little dry patches of where I've been applying it. So I made sure to exfoliate today before sitting down and doing my makeup. I put on some of the Summer Fridays Jet Lag mask, kind of like my moisturizer slash primer, because it's super hydrating and my skin really needed that today because I do not want flaky looking skin. There's nothing worse than that. So like I have this patch right here that's so dry. Could we just not do that today? Thank you very much. And my nose is so dry, which is crazy because it's like where I get like the most oily. But anyways, this is how I've been doing my makeup recently, and I'm super into it. I have really been trying to do like the less is more approach. I always feel like my makeup always looks so much better when I do less. It doesn't look cakey, it looks super natural and pretty. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using two different foundations. The first one is the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I'm going to be applying this on my problematic areas because I have some dark spots right now that I just want to conceal. And then on top of that, I'll be applying the Giorgio Armani Luminous Stick. Am I talking too fast? Is that what's going on? Because I can't get my words out. This is super hydrating and I really need that right now, so I'm just gonna be applying the stick foundation to my problematic areas and any dark spots that I have where I just need a little bit more coverage, which isn't too many spots right now because my skin is starting to do better. I've been changing, well, I changed my birth control, and that's why my skin has just been like freaking out lately. Doesn't really know how to act. My hormones kind of are all over the place too. My emotions have been so up and down. So I just need a little bit more coverage these days. So I applied that first, then going in with the Giorgio Armani foundation, and I'm just using my Tarte kabuki brush. You guys know I love this thing. It gives you such a beautiful finish, and so does this foundation. So I love this like duo. This might be a little tan for me because I haven't tanned in a while, which actually I need to do that today. So I'm probably gonna tan later today because a girl is looking like a ghost. I know I just said in my last video, I was like, I'm not losing any color this year, blah, 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 blah. And here I am, like haven't tanned in forever. I've just been being so lazy, you guys, to be honest, like straight up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out my foundation. You guys don't need to watch this. It's, you know, basic. Great, my foundation is already starting to crack on my forehead because my skin is so dry. Ugh. Anyways, it's okay. I got a couple steps, a couple tricks up my sleeve at the end that will help if you have any dry skin. So foundation is on and laid. Now we can move on to concealer. And you guys, I'm telling you, like, it's so important that you guys exfoliate your skin before applying your makeup. That is key. If you have dry skin in the wintertime, you have to exfoliate and take the dead skin off. Otherwise, it's just gonna cake up. Your makeup's gonna crack, your skin's gonna get really flaky, and it's just not gonna be a nice finish or a nice look at all. So that is really, really important. The steps that you take before even sitting down to do your makeup are really essential, and it's what's gonna make your skin look its absolute best when it's dry. So make sure you do that before you even attempt to start doing your makeup, and then make sure you apply a really good moisturizing moisturizer before applying your makeup. Those two tips honestly will take you a really long way when trying to do your makeup when you have dry skin. So make sure you do that. I really haven't done a tutorial in a while because I can't even get my words out. I keep stumbling on everything. But anyways, so for concealer today, I'm gonna be using the Vanish Hourglass Concealer. This is in the shade Fawn, I believe. Fawn, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do this the same that I always do my concealer. That's really not any different. So I'm just going to apply, like I said, less is really more when you have dry skin. You guys, you don't wanna cake up your makeup. Like, that's the #1 thing aside from like what you do before you start doing your makeup. And for me, my skin is really dry, just like right here. I have a dry patch, so I'm not gonna focus too much product there. Start with a little bit and then build up. You don't wanna do too much and then try and take some off because that's just gonna get really messy. So I'm just gonna take a really light hand, or I did take a really light hand with my concealer, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and buff it out and just blend it. I definitely recommend using a beauty blender instead of a brush when it comes to blending out your concealer if you have dry skin, just because the dampness from the beauty blender is gonna bring a little bit of moisture back into your skin, and then you're going in like a patting motion as opposed to like a swirling motion. And if you're swirling, then you could run the risk of, you know, like breaking up your makeup. If you have like any flakes, that could just make it more noticeable. So I always like to use a damp beauty sponge instead of a brush when my skin is dry to blend out my concealer. So I'm just gonna do that. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some on my forehead. I wanna do just a little bit on my forehead because my forehead is really dry right now, and I don't want to bring any more attention to the dryness. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on my chin and a little bit on my forehead just to kind of blend my contour together. But yeah, I'm pretty much applying my concealer like I always do. This step is really not anything different. Seriously, so creams are really like the perfect product to use when your skin is dry. Really try and minimize the amount of powders that you're going to be using, because powder is really just going to emphasize on the dry patches and really just make your skin just look more dry than it really is. So concealer is blended out, and that actually looks really, really nice. I love this concealer with that foundation. It just looks so good. You guys, I've literally had that concealer forever, and I can't believe how much I love it and how rarely I use it. Like, I really need to start bringing that guy out because it's so pretty. Oh my god. So before setting my concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and put some cream bronzer on. And for today, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer Cream Bronzer in the shade Teddy. This is a little bit tan for me right now, but I think we can make it work when I put my bronzer on top of it. I think it'll make it look nice and really blend the shade out for me. And I'm just applying this how I always apply my cream bronzers. I'm just kind of like patting it into the skin. I'm using like an angled brush so it's a little bit easier, and I'm just patting it in. When your skin is dry, you really want to minimize the amount of like swirling that you're doing on your face with your makeup and do more like pressing motions like I'm doing right now. I feel like when you start swirling, and if you have a dry patch, it's really just gonna like emphasize it more. You know what I mean? Cream products are honestly like, it's it. When you have dry skin, it really, really makes a difference. So I really recommend getting some cream products if you guys are on the dry side, because that'll really make a difference in your makeup. So you guys see, I'm not swirling, I'm just patting and working my way up. and back and towards my hairline. And after applying that cream bronzer, I'm just gonna go in with my beauty sponge and just kind of blend everything together by just pouncing my sponge on top of everything and just blending the two creams together. So now to set, I'm going to be using the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and then I'm also going to be mixing it with my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And I'm taking a really light hand when I'm using these powders, and I'm mainly going to focus it right under my eye just to make sure that the concealer is totally set and not going anywhere. But I don't want to go too crazy with the powder because that's going to make us look more dry than we already are, and that is not the goal here today. So make sure you take a light hand. And I'm just applying it with my beauty sponge. Now that I have my under eyes and my T-zone set, I'm then going to take a big fluffy loose brush, and then I'm just going to swirl my brush a little bit in the veil powder. Don't want to get too much. And I'm using a big fluffy brush so it doesn't focus the product too much in one spot. It kind of will just like dust it evenly all over my face. And now I'm just going to go ahead and set that cream bronzer that we did. This powder is honestly great because it really gives you like a kind of like a glow. It's really, really pretty. So once I did that, I do have like a little bit of, I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but I have like a little dry patch right here, and right here is pretty dry, but it's okay. We're gonna go ahead and fix that with the last step that we're gonna do today, but we're not there yet. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my powder bronzer to set the cream bronzer that we just applied, and for that I'm gonna be using the Marc Jacobs, what is this, Omega bronzer? Yeah, the Omega bronzer, and this is in the shade Tantric, and I'm just gonna apply just a little bit of this. Like I said, a little bit really does go a long way, you guys. So I'm just gonna use a very light hand. Remember, less is more today. So bronzer is on, we're all set with that. Now for the blush, I'm gonna be using a cream blush. I love this blush. Honestly love this blush. It's the Maybelline Dream Bounce blush. Yeah, Dream Bounce blush, and this is in the shade Peach Stain. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna be applying that. Get it good. And then I'm just going to pat it on and work it back. You guys know I'm very generous when it comes to my blush. That is one thing where less is most definitely not more. This is probably the only product that I'm gonna use that I'm gonna go a little bit crazy on, but that's just personal preference for me. I just love a lot of blush. Like, I like to look like a doll. That's me, you know? A little bit on my nose. Ooh, so cute. And then just to kind of set that blush, I'm going to be using my Dior Backstage Rosy Glow in the shade Coral. It looks like this. It's so pretty. I'm just going to use a little bit of this just to set the blush that we just put on. You always have to set a cream, otherwise it's not going to last. So I'm just going to go over that. And for me, blush never lasts, so by the time I'm done with my whole makeup, I'm probably going to have to reapply some more, to be honest with you guys, because that's usually how it goes. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and set my makeup with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. This is one of my tricks to make sure my makeup and my skin look really, really good. Everything is blended and melts together. And if you have any dry patches, this is really going to help settle them. And I always like to do this step before I apply my highlighter because I just feel like it gives it something to hold on to. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. You guys can see I like drench myself in it. And then I'll just take the back of my beauty blender and just pounce it into my skin, really focusing on the spots that are really dry right now. For me, it's like my forehead. Like, it really just like revitalizes your skin, and my skin already feels so much more hydrated after doing that, and it just looks like it's glowing now, does it not? Like, tell me my skin doesn't look like it's glowing. It's not wet. That's a glow, baby. Tell me that did not make a huge difference. So on to the highlighter. And today we're gonna be using the Hourglass Ambient Euphoric Strobe Light. This is what it looks like. It is such a beautiful, definitely a strobe-y kind of highlight. It is like a frosty, beautiful highlight. Okay, you guys know this isn't gonna be any different. I'm very generous when I apply my highlight. And the good thing about this highlight is you can have a heavy hand with it and it's not gonna look like cakey. It's not gonna look really texturized or anything like that. It's not gonna look like it's like straight glitter on your face. Hourglass always makes the most beautiful highlights. It makes it look like it's like your skin, like that's just glowing. It doesn't even look like I have makeup on when I apply this, or like it doesn't look like I have highlighter on. It just looks like my skin is what's glowing and not a product that I put on top of it. You know what I mean? Gosh, the difference highlighter makes, like, Anyways, now on to the eye portion of this tutorial. Now, honestly, I'm not doing anything crazy for my eyes. I want to keep it super neutral, very easy. I'm not even going to use any eyeshadow. I'm just going to use bronzer, and I'm going to take that same bronzer that I use, the Marc Jacobs Omega, and I'm just going to dust a little bit on my eyelids just to warm them up and give them just a little bit of color. So I made sure to set my eyelids before doing this step. I always set them with my concealer and then some setting powder, and then my eyelids are always good to go. And I'm just applying this in a super messy way and just getting it all over the lid. And then once I do have the color all over the lid, then I just want to focus it more so on the crease and just give it a little bit more like drama right there. So it kind of like you're contouring your eyelids just to bring the shape back in, and so they look a little bit more defined. So this really shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes on both eyes. It's super quick, super easy. Whenever you're rushing out the door, this is always my go-to, just slapping on some bronzer on the eyelid. And you don't even have to use bronzer. You can totally just use like a brown shade. For me, my bronzers are always like a perfect shade for my lid, so that's always just what I use. And I'm pretty much gonna do the same exact thing to my waterline, but first I'm gonna go ahead and line them. I'm gonna be using the Makeup by Mario, what is this called? Master Matte's Brightening Pencil in the shade Light 1. It's basically just like a cream shade pencil, and I'm just gonna be applying this into my waterline. I really love this step. I can almost like never skip this step. It's so essential for me. I feel like with people with brown eyes, it just really makes your eyes pop. Like once my whole look is done, I can just see that cream liner on my waterline, and it honestly just makes the whole look come together. I feel like it brings like warmer shades out in my like eye color. Like it makes my eyes look more like honey, if that makes sense when I do this step. So like I said, I can really never skip this step. This is like always my go-to look whenever like I'm rushing and I want to do something that I know it looks good and doesn't require too much time. I always do this because I know it looks good, it's super flattering, and it's quick and easy. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera because, you know, that's just not fun. And I do my brows the same. Actually, no, I don't do my brows the same. I actually have tried a new way in doing my brows, which I really love, and I've tried new products that I really love. So I'm gonna have a updated brow routine video coming soon, but that being said, I'm just going to rush through my brows and jump to the next clip with my brows done. All right, brows are on. The lighting is starting to get a little bit weird. It's like, it's almost 5 o'clock now, so I need to hurry up and finish. Anyways, so now that our brows are on, I'm gonna go ahead and we're pretty much done for the most part. Go ahead and set my skin a little bit more. And the one I'm using today is the Farsali, what is this called? Rose Gold Skin Mist. I really like this to give me a really beautiful glow. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this. Move my hair out of my way. Ooh. And then again, just topping it with my beauty sponge. Oof, there she is. Okay, boom, bada boom, 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 boom. I'm an idiot, you guys. I totally forgot to do the step with my primer oil, but it's okay. We're gonna do that now. Typically, I do this step before I apply that setting spray. I like to take my Smashbox Primer Oil. I put a little bit on the back of my hand. Totally learned this from Jaclyn Hill, I'm not gonna lie, props to her. I put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to pounce my beauty sponge on there. And I'm just gonna work that into the back of my hand because I don't want too much of this oil on my beauty blender. or excuse me, my beauty sponge. I've been doing so good calling it a beauty sponge. And so now that that's on there, I'm just gonna go ahead and pat it on to my skin, focusing it on my dry patches, which is like right here and on my forehead. And it's just gonna add just a little bit more glow to the skin. And get just a little bit more hydration. I don't know if you guys can see the difference on camera, but I most definitely can see the difference in my mirror. Like, my skin just looks so much more radiant. This step is seriously crucial if you have dry skin, you guys. Like, throw this on any dry patch, or I really put this all over my face. I kind of avoid my T-zone, but I do have a dry patch right here, which is typically a place that I would avoid, but I have, like I said, a dry patch, so I applied it there. But yeah, this honestly is the trick for me for when my skin is dry and I have like flaky patches all over my face. Applying a little bit of this with a damp beauty sponge is literally my holy grail right now. Like, it is saving my life, and it will save yours too if you have dry skin. So try this out. I'm telling you, like, I promise it works. Oh, that's pretty much it for the skin right now, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some lashes and some mascara, and then I'll come back and do my lip and we'll be done. While I let my lashes dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do my lipstick. And for the lip liner today, I'm gonna be using the NYX retractable lip liner in the shade Ruby, I believe. Is this Ruby? Yeah, in the shade Ruby. I'm doing a red lip today, so I am gonna line my lips with this. I really, really like this lip liner. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. So for lipstick, I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick. This is in the shade American Doll. I love this color for my red lips, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my lips with this. Totally meant to put like a little like frosty inner corner moment, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put on some mascara and then we'll be done. And there you have it, you guys. I am all done. This is my go-to wintertime look for dry skin kind of tutorial. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm gonna call it, to be honest with you guys. I know it'll always make my skin look really good. It's quick for me. I can get this out. Literally, I can do my makeup like this in like 45 minutes, which I know still sounds like a lot, but considering it takes me 2 hours to do my makeup, 45 minutes is great. I'm gonna take that. I won't complain. But my skin just looks so hydrated, so youthful, and just like, it doesn't even look like I have any dry skin anywhere, any cracks, any flakes, none of that. Like, it looks really good, really healthy, and it's just glowing. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up if you have. I have a lot more tutorials coming your guys' way, so stay tuned for those. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye guys.